Panther Nation. The Carolina Panthers are no longer the same team you thought they were. Behind the scenes, a bold new strategy is unfolding, one built on numbers, data, and cold hard analytics. Some fans call it the future, others call it a gamble. But one thing's for sure, this new Moneyball Panthers experiment could change everything. And it might just decide whether this team rises to glory or crashes under the weight of numbers that don't tell the full story. The Panthers are stepping into a new era, and it's not about flashy names or wild spending. It's about smart moves, cold numbers, and squeezing every ounce of value out of the roster. This is the Moneyball approach, the same kind of system that shook up baseball years ago. According to a piece in the Charlotte Observer, Carolina has quietly been building one of the strongest analytics-driven operations in the NFL. At the heart of it all is Brant Tillis, working side by side with GM Dan Morgan and head coach Dave Cannells. Together, they're building a blueprint that could redefine how the Panthers win football games. Tillis admitted he knew this was the direction the owners wanted, to be data-oriented, not data-blind. He understood that stats and models could unlock advantages other teams might miss, but he also knew he couldn't do it alone. That's why he brought in Eric Eager, a heavyweight in football analytics and a former VP at Pro Football Focus. Tillis believed Eager could bring the juice the Panthers needed to compete in a league where every edge matters. But here's the catch. Analytics are a double-edged sword. They can show you the smartest play in the book, but football isn't played on paper. Numbers can tell you to go for it on 4th and 2, but what if your offense has been flat all game? What if your players are out of rhythm, confidence is low, and momentum is slipping away? Do you trust the chart or your gut? That's the risk. Some fans love the new Moneyball Panthers. They see a smarter, sharper team being built. Others fear that trusting numbers too much can backfire, leaving the team vulnerable when real-life football doesn't match the math. And that's the big question. Are the Panthers ahead of the curve or walking into a trap? Sometimes the numbers do save you from disaster. Take the draft, for example. The Panthers had a chance to trade with the Rams, a move that could have dropped Carolina all the way from pick 8 to 26. On paper, that might have looked tempting. But when the Panthers analytics team ran the data, the red flags lit up. The numbers said, "Don't do it," and they were right. Instead of sliding all the way back and risking everything, Carolina stayed the course. That decision landed them Xavier Legette T-Mac, Jonathan Brooks Scorton, and Jatavian Sanders Yellen, three huge building blocks for the future. If they had gambled on that trade, that entire haul might have vanished. That's the beauty of smart analytics, knowing when to pull the trigger and when to step away. And if the Panthers start stacking wins this season, building from 2 to 15 to 5 to 12, maybe to 8 to 9, and even pushing toward 11-6 in the near future, then we'll look back at this moment and say, the numbers built the foundation. Let's not forget, Brant Tillis already saw this work once in Kansas City. He was part of a front office that used analytics to build a dynasty around Patrick Mahomes. Now, no one's saying Carolina is suddenly the next Chiefs, but here's the point. We've got a man who has held the blueprint in his hands before. He knows the path, he knows the mistakes, and he believes it can be done again, this time in Charlotte. And if it works, Panther Nation, buckle up, because this could be the start of something we've been waiting on for years. But then, boom, yesterday, the entire NFL world got hit with a shocking bombshell. Micah Parsons, traded to the Green Bay Packers. Yes, you heard that right. Micah Parsons, one of the most feared pass rushers in football, is now wearing green and gold. If you had told me at the start of the offseason that Parsons would land in Green Bay before week 1, I would have laughed in your face. But here we are. The trade details? Absolute insanity. The Cowboys sent Parsons to the Packers in exchange for 2 first-round picks 2026 and 2027 plus star defensive tackle Kenny Clark. On top of that, Green Bay handed Parsons a 4-year, $188 million deal with $136 million guaranteed. That makes him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Let that sink in. Higher than T.J. Watt. Higher than Myles Garrett. Now, don't get me wrong, Parsons is an incredible talent. Top 3 pass rusher in the league? Absolutely. But better than what? Better than Garrett? I'm not buying it. Not yet. And to me, that's where the problem lies. It's not about his skill, it's about the money. This is exactly why I never wanted Carolina to go all in for Parsons. Not because of his talent, we all know the man can ball, but because of the price tag. Nearly $200 million for a non-quarterback? For the Panthers, that's just too steep. We're building for the long term. And while Green Bay might celebrate today, let's see how they feel when that massive contract starts handcuffing their future moves. So here's the question for Panther Nation and NFL fans everywhere. Did Green Bay just make the move of the decade? Or did they just overpay for hype? Let's keep it real, Panther Nation. That Micah Parsons deal? It's insane. Think about it. $188 million locked up, plus 2 first-round picks gone. That's the price Green Bay just paid. And listen, Carolina is in a rebuild. You cannot sacrifice future first-rounders when you're still building your foundation. I don't care who the player is. If you're still rebuilding, you guard those draft picks like gold. Unless you're 100% certain you're getting a true franchise cornerstone, a player you know will carry your team for the next 7 to 10 years, then giving away picks is reckless. And that's why I say the Panthers dodged a bullet. Parsons is elite, no doubt. But right now, with contracts coming up, young guys to develop, and holes still on this roster, that kind of money would have been a financial time bomb. Now, let's talk ripple effects. This trade just flipped 2 games on our schedule. Week 6 versus the Cowboys, a whole lot easier without Parsons hunting down our quarterback. But Week 9 versus Green Bay, oh, buckle up. That game just got way tougher because now we've got to deal with a Packer defense that is Parsons screaming off the edge. And speaking of Dallas, let me say this loud and clear. Jerry Jones is the biggest problem for the Cowboys. Period. Until he steps back or steps away, Dallas will keep being the team of what could have been. They'll flirt with greatness. They'll hype themselves up every offseason, but they won't finish the job. Cowboys fans, I'm sorry, but you know it's true. So from where I'm standing, Carolina played it smart. No Parsons, no massive contract, no mortgaging the future. That's how you rebuild the right way. Green Bay can take that risk. We can't. But now, let's flip it to something fun. A little would you rather. Panthers edition. Here's the question, and I want y'all to think about it carefully. Would you rather have VIP box seats at a home NFC championship game in Carolina? Or would you rather sit in the nosebleeds at the Panthers' next Super Bowl appearance? Both are dream scenarios. The NFC title game in Charlotte would be electric, the crowd shaking the stadium, history being made right in front of us, and you're living it in comfort with food and drinks on the house. But then again, the Super Bowl, even if you're way up in the nosebleeds, you're part of history. You're seeing the Carolina Panthers on the biggest stage in all of sports. That's a once-in-a-lifetime memory, no matter where your seat is. Me? I'm leaning toward the box seats at the NFC title game. That atmosphere at home with the crowd going wild? That's priceless. But man, the Super Bowl is tempting. Box seats at home for the NFC title game or nosebleeds at the Super Bowl? Drop your answer in the comments. This one's gonna split the fan base. And now, Panther Nation, let's finish strong with the freeze frame of the day. Check this out, a shot from yesterday's practice. It's raw, it's gritty. You can literally see the sweat, the dirt, the toughness. To me, this picture screams back to the trenches. That's the attitude this team needs heading into the season. Not pretty, not polished, just gritty, dirty, hard-nosed football. That's how you win in this league. Keep pounding. Because let's be real, this season is going to be a fight. Every yard, every snap. But at the end of it, if we keep that fight alive, we'll be the ones smiling, celebrating, and proving everybody wrong. Now, it's time for Panther Nation to speak their truth. The first take comes from Chuck Federal, who said, "When will the Panthers realize they have skilled players but not nearly enough O-line strength?" Chuck, I've got to push back here. Look at the numbers. Bryce Young was sacked 62 times his rookie year. Brutal. But last season, that number dropped to 29. Why? Because we got healthier and stronger up front. That's not luck. That's growth. Could depth still be better? Sure. But to say the O-line isn't strong enough, I'm not buying it. Next, from JDB Carolina Breeze 1911, who wrote, Kennels to Hunter. Fake a hammy so no one else signs you when we release you. Thailand's going home and we want you back. Don't worry, you'll be compensated. Bruh, that might be the funniest and honestly the most believable take I've read all week. And hey, if that's how it really went down, I wouldn't even be mad. Because Hunter Renfrow back in Carolina, that could be a sneaky move that pays off. And last but not least, from Papa to 1986, who asked, what do you think about trying to get Tyler Huntley as a backup? I'll be straight with you, I don't hate the idea. Huntley's solid. He's mobile, he's got experience, and he showed flashes in the preseason. But if Bryce or Andy Dalton were to go down long term, I don't think Huntley's the guy you want carrying the season. That's why I love the Hendon Hooker signing so much more. He's got real upside. To me, that's the smarter play. Oh, and quick shout out. Carolina made some practice squad moves, signing Quan Wallace, DJ Dallas, and Kalen King. At the same time, they cut Shamar Bartholomew. It's a business, man. Some guys stay, some guys go. So now I'm throwing it back to you, Panther Nation. Do you believe in this Moneyball analytics approach, or is it just hype? Did Carolina dodge a bullet by avoiding Micah Parsons, or should they have gone all in? And finally, box seats at home for the NFC Championship, or nosebleeds at the Super Bowl? Drop your answers in the comments. I want to hear from every single one of you. Because at the end of the day, this team isn't just about what happens on the field. It's about us, the fans, the heart, the passion. So keep the energy high, keep the faith strong, and as always, keep pounding.